Alright, so this video covers graphing in various forms, and it's still part of the standard A.3C. So A.3C has a lot. It has overall graphing, linear equations, and finding the key features. So that's x-intercept, y-intercept, 0, and slope. So this video pretty much covers it all. So graphing, linear equations, and finding key features. So before we go on, I do need to talk about the three different forms of linear equations that we have. Today is Tuesday. Today we covered graphing slope-intercept. And that is y equals mx plus b, where m, where m represents your slope, and b represents the y-intercept. And I'm going to put y-int for short. So we're going to be graphing when we are given an equation in y equals mx plus b. And today we're also going to be graphing equations written in point slope. And that's y minus y1, that's a 1 not a comma, equals m parentheses x minus x1. Once again, that's a 1 not a comma. Where m still represents your slope, and y, y1, and x1 represent your point. If I am going too fast, please feel free to pause the video at any time. I have to make separate videos during class because the videos during class are like really long. And then last but not least, standard form. I am going to focus on standard form more tomorrow. And that is ax plus by equals c. And we don't really have an m here or a b. It's just we have numbers. But like I said, that's going to be more of a focus for tomorrow. Alrighty, so what we did in class is we started off with graphing slope-intercept. So equations that are already in the y equals mx plus b form. So our first one was y equals 1/2 x minus 3. So here we can find, so just like we had earlier, here is a number, and we have a number here. This is our slope, kind of like what we have here, and this is our b. This is our y-intercept, kind of like what we have here. So b equals -3, and then m equals 1/2. So what this 1/2 is telling us, that we're going to go up 1 and then right 2. So I'm going to do a little graph here, and I am going to use a little stamp pad that I have just to make my graphs a little neater for you to see, and then I can show you one where I'm sketching one just in case you don't have one. If you do have one, cool. But if you don't have one, I'll show you how to sketch it on your paper. So I have this little stamp graph here that I use to put my graphs on, just to give me a nice grid. Okay, so here's my y-axis, right here. It's a little crooked, but it's because I accidentally made the graph a little crooked. But here's my y-axis, and I want to graph, or we're going to start at -3. So this -3 is your y-intercept. So -3, and that's down here. From that point, you're going to use the slope to move. So you're not going to start at the origin, because I do see that a lot, where you plot this point, and then you go back to the origin. No, baby. This is why it's called the beginning of your graph. So you're going to go up 1, over 2, plot a point. Up 1, over 2, plot a point. Up 1, over 2, plot a point. And then you got enough points to make a line. Okay? And the 0 of the graph, the 0 is your x-intercept. That is a vocabulary word that you have to know. The 0 here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your 0 right there. Okay? Alright, so that is one example. To make this video a little shorter, I am just going to go on to point slope. If you would like to know more about graphing equations that are in slope-intercept, I did make a video dedicated to graphing equations written in this form. Alright, let's say we have values. Gotta use that one. So y plus 3 equals -2, parentheses x minus 2. So what we do here is we need to solve for y in order to get it into that y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to draw my line. And I also have a video dedicated on just this. Okay, the first thing we want to do is to distribute this -2 into here. So it's going to be -2x plus 4. On this side, I'm just going to drop that down. And then one more step here. To get y by itself, I got to get rid of this plus 3. So we subtract 3, and we subtract 3 from the 4. We don't put it under the -2 because those are not like terms. So we're going to have y equals -2x plus 1. Okay? And then I'm going to label my b and, so my b here is 1. That's my b, the plus 1. And then my slope is the -2. So in order to find how I'm going to do my rise over run, I'm going to put a 1 under it. And what this -2 is telling me is I'm going to go down 2 units, and then write 1. So I'm going to make my little makeshift graph here, which is, I'm pretty sure, what you have to do. Okay, here's my y-axis and my x. It's not super great, but it gets the job done. And I'm going to make little tick marks. And we're going to begin at 1 on the y-axis. So it's right here. From that point, so not from the origin, but from that point, we're going to use the slope to move. So from this point, we got to go down 2, right 1 unit. So 1, 2. I'll zoom in. So from this point, down 2, 1, 2. Right 1, 1, plot a point. Okay. So down 2, 1, 2. Right 1, plot a point. 3 points is good enough. Draw my line. And there you go. So here, let's say it's asking for the y-intercept. The y-intercept here is 1. In case you didn't already figure it out from earlier. Okay, so that is what we did today on Tuesday, September 29th. Tomorrow, so Wednesday, we're going to be taking a quiz and doing the assignment over this. The assignment is going to be on backpacks.